Right now, after negotiations between state officials and Milwaukee Brewers, there's a new plan announced today that could keep the team in Wisconsin for the foreseeable future. Also, several wrongfully detained Americans are on their way home following a deal with Iran. You're watching News 3 Now at noon. Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Hope you all had a nice weekend. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. We begin with Republican lawmakers announcing a plan to keep the Milwaukee Brewers in the city for the next 27 years. The deal reached would provide roughly $700 million to help maintain American Family Field, and it comes after months of negotiations between the team and state officials.
Whether you ever come to a Brewer game or you ever come to a concert at this venue, it is definitely better for the taxpayer to have revenue being generated here to keep the team and all the economic benefits than it would be to have them leave.
Wisconsin actually owns the stadium, and the state taxpayers would be putting up most of the costs for the field. Wisconsin taxpayers would pay about $400 million of the $700 million plan, and most of that money coming from income taxes from the players' salaries. Milwaukee City and County would contribute roughly $200 million, with another $100 million coming from the team itself. To an update now on multiple people getting injured last night in what Madison police are calling a disturbance. The incident happened in the 2100 block of Atterbury Circle. Officers were responding to reports of a stabbing and shooting. Several people were found inside of a house with stab wounds. 4 people were taken to the hospital. 1 person suffered life-threatening injuries. They remain in critical condition as of this morning. A knife and gun were recovered at the scene. An investigation into the incident is ongoing. So far, no arrests have been made. Police in Cottage Grove have arrested someone for threatening the Monona School District. Officers say they received an anonymous tip that the suspect sent threatening messages on social media. Police then took that person into custody for an interview. They then booked the suspect into the Dane County Jail for making terrorist threats. For the first time since June of last year, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is providing abortion services. So far, 2 Wisconsin clinics, including the Madison East Health Center, are now providing those services. Abortion providers stopped offering abortions in June of 2022 after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. That put Wisconsin's 1849 so-called abortion ban into effect until a Dane County judge ruled that the law bans feticide, not abortion. Well, do you have a question or concern about your plants in your home? Send us your question via email right now to tips@channel3000.com. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company joins us later in the broadcast with the answers. Again, that's tips@channel3000.com for your plant and garden questions. And you might want to get out in the garden. Warmer weather ahead this week. Let's head to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Greg Barnhart has a look at your certified most accurate forecast.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have warmer weather today, this week. But for today, it's actually a nice September day. We're up the upper 60s, low 70s for most of the area, which is pretty seasonal for this time of year. As we zoom into Dane County, pretty much uniform across the county that we're sitting in the mid 60s to upper 60s, and we should be getting up to the 70s here soon after that, too. So the big picture shows overall all the systems are well to the east or to the west right now as we zoom in. Just some cloud cover left over that's beginning to pop up, especially east of the area. So we'll see some partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Otherwise, no precipitation. It should be dry. But we are tracking the next system that is entering the Dakotas, and it'll begin to dig south into Minnesota and eventually the state later tonight. That will provide the opportunity for some rainfall for most of the area that could impact your Tuesday morning commute. But for this afternoon, this evening, we're not seeing any of that. Just on and off clouds. We'll get up to 73 degrees. The temperatures will slowly fall off to the middle 60s by 8 p.m. Once again, the rain will be after midnight for all the areas, and that's what we'll see. Once again, we'll plan out that rain. We'll see if we can add to the September total so far that we're still well below average, and that continues after August. Later in the broadcast, we'll break that down, as well as when to expect those 80s here this week.
All right. We'll check back, Greg. Thank you. To some national news now. The U.S. has confirmed that 5 Americans who were wrongfully detained in Iran are now free and on their way back to their families. In return, 5 Iranians being held in the U.S. have been released, as has $6 billion in frozen funds. The White House insists that money will not be used for terrorism or Iran's nuclear program.
The funds that are in those accounts in Qatar can only be spent with strict oversight by the Treasury Department and only for humanitarian purposes.
But some on Capitol Hill are criticizing the decision to release the money to Iran. They say the decision will motivate countries to take more Americans as prisoners, hoping to get a ransom payment. Hunter Biden is suing the IRS. The president's son says the department illegally released his tax return information. He also claims agents failed to protect his private records. The lawsuit centers around disclosures made by two agents and their lawyers in public statements, congressional testimony, and interviews. Biden is seeking all documents involved, $1,000 for each unauthorized disclosure, and attorney's fees. Lawyers for former President Trump are once again trying to get federal judge Tanya Chutkan to recuse herself from the election interference case. Trump's lawyers argue the former president's political successes mean that the prosecution of him could be viewed as politically biased. Chutkan will ultimately make the decision whether she should recuse herself. Trump's filings could be used in appeals later if he is convicted. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. The United Auto Workers Union continues to negotiate with a deal with the big three car companies, plus why some fast food chains are getting special deals on their cheeseburgers. That's coming up in the Money Watch Report.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
This month, all COREtec water-resistant flooring is on sale at Surgenian's. We offer the largest COREtec selection in Madison. Take advantage of unprecedented sale pricing with 18-month financing. Local, sustainable Surgenian's.
Did you get hit with big energy bills this summer? You aren't alone, and we want to help. Because if your house was hot this summer, it's going to be cold this winter, and heating and cooling is by far the biggest energy user in your home. That's why our foam insulation is such a great investment. Our best offer of the year just ended August 31st. But to help you get ready for winter, we're going to extend it until September 22nd. When we foam your walls, we'll insulate your attic for free.
USA Insulation.
Wish you had help getting things done. Same. So I got Spectrum One. It's fast internet, unlimited mobile, and advanced Wi-Fi, all for a great price. Want it? Here's the number.
Call 833-784-4999 to get Spectrum Internet for $49.99 a month, plus advanced Wi-Fi and your first line of unlimited mobile free for 12 months. Spectrum Internet delivers the fastest download speeds in the nation.
Which helps me run all of this easily. Kids checkups, scheduled. Work, bust. Treat dispenser, treating. And since I'm always on this, unlimited mobile is a no-brainer. Work.
Switch to Spectrum One. 300 megabit internet, unlimited mobile, and advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security.
Spectrum One gets it done.
Get Spectrum Internet for $49.99 a month, plus advanced Wi-Fi, and your first line of unlimited mobile free for 12 months. Call 833-784-4999. Visit Spectrum.com or stop by a store today.
I'm a martial artist, a skydiver, a pilot, and all of them require your feet to work. Get up in the morning, and it felt like I was standing on marbles on my heel. When I went into the Good Feet store, the fitting was personalized. It was all about me. You put in the arch supports, and your day becomes better, and the sun shines, the unicorns run by, and, you know, it's a good life. I'm Randy, and that's my Good Feet story.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
You need to lend a helping hand when you wake up. Just know that we're always there.
Dean Health Plan by Medica, right here with you.
Ford says it has laid off hundreds of non-striking workers at its Wayne, Michigan assembly plant amid the historic United Auto Workers strike against the big three U.S. car companies. Union workers walked off the job there and at two other GM and Stellantis facilities after their contract expired late Thursday. UAW leaders say talks were productive with Ford over the weekend. Union representatives are meeting with Stellantis today. Thousands of protesters marched to New York yesterday to call on President Biden and other world leaders to end reliance on fossil fuels. The march kicked off Climate Week as the United Nations General Assembly also meets this week with a climate summit planned Wednesday. President Biden is in New York for the UN gathering. And today is National Cheeseburger Day, and several major fast food chains are offering deals. McDonald's has 50-cent double cheeseburgers exclusively through its app, while Wendy's is giving out a junior bacon cheeseburger for a penny with purchase. Burger King is also giving away a free cheeseburger with a purchase equaling $1 or more for Royal Perks members. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Matt Piper.
Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrial's up 96 points, almost 97. The Nasdaq up 32. The S&P 500 gaining 14.5. Our call for action volunteers are in the building, taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Volunteers are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you can call for action right now at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Up next, Pam has today's egg prices, plus Greg's back with the complete forecast. And then today on Live at 4, we'll head to the movies with our film critic Will Loper. We'll find out what movies top the box office and which ones are worth seeing or skipping on screens big and small.
Fry Construction invites you to usher in the fall season with our exclusive fall sale. We're talking about savings of 23%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 4 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Get on board for our fall savings. Save 23% off gutters with any full roofing project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness, and tingling in the hands or feet? Commonly diagnosed as peripheral neuropathy? Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin that have serious side effects and often do not relieve your symptoms? Your doctor has told you you may just have to live with the pain. Peripheral neuropathy is a result of damage to the nerves, often causing burning, weakness, pain, numbness, tingling, and the most debilitating balance problems. Our facility uses multiple therapeutic methods to help give you relief from neuropathy symptoms with no injections and no drugs. You may start seeing relief after only a few sessions. To determine if your neuropathy symptoms can be relieved, we will do a consultation to evaluate the extent of your condition. Call us today to schedule your neuropathy consultation to find out if you're a candidate for our therapy. Call today.
Steinhafels is your sleep solution destination. Right now, you can get a Queen Beauty Rest mattress for only $3.99, or upgrade to the luxury and comfort of a Beauty Rest Black Hybrid and pay just $51 per month when you use our 72-month financing. Plus, you'll get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Isn't it time you got a great night's sleep? Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. Relax, it's Steinhafels.
We want to make sure every child in Dane County has a warm coat to wear this winter, and we need your help.
Please donate gently used, kid-sized winter coats to any Clinky Cleaners. We'll clean them for free.
And Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County would give these to kids in need right here where we live.
Don't have a kid's coat to give? Log on to Channel 3000 to make a financial donation. Track our progress on News 3 Now and Magic 98, then donate to Coats for Kids.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Let's check in with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report on this Monday. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. It's going to be a beautiful week. A lot of folks that are going to be out enjoying apple orchards, pretty quick pumpkin patches. And that reminds me that this week is National Farm Safety and Health Week. It's not just across the nation. It's right here in Wisconsin. Governor Tony Evers signed a proclamation declaring it Wisconsin Farm Safety and Health Week. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, agriculture is still one of the most dangerous occupations. And unfortunately, most of the accidents and deaths that we sustain in agriculture are because of vehicular traffic and tractor accidents. Tractor overturns and roadway crashes lead the way. That's according to the 2021 data. So we want to make sure that we're putting that message out there to not only get your safety plan ready, farmers, as far as communicating with emergency responders if something should happen on the farm. How are they going to find you in the middle of that 40? And also for folks that are sharing roadways with all this big farm equipment, please remember to show a little respect to that size of that equipment and also the fact that it just doesn't move that fast. But they do have a right to be on the road. That's how how they're getting to their job. So please be respectful and mindful of that. Downtown, they're working on some legislation that might help when it comes to your options at the fueling pump. Senator Joan Ballwig from Marquesas and Representative Todd Novak from Dodgeville are introducing a bill that basically would provide a little grant money for brand new fueling stations or those that are looking at including what we call blender pumps. Gives you an option of picking what type of ethanol fuel you want to add in. It would also encompass biodiesel, which comes from soybean oil. They are looking for more co-sponsors, so if that's a bill you're fond of, please make sure that you're reaching out to your senators or representatives to get them to jump on as well. Boy, no jumping today. Everybody jumping off the barrel cheese raft, down 9 today at 172. 40-pound block cheese unchanged at 188. Double A butter on a Monday up 5 1/4 cents, 277 a pound. Dairy struggling a little bit on a Monday, but as far as this weather is concerned, the only struggle is trying to get the most out of it while it's around. Crazy to think we're going to be back in the 80s by the end of this week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still summer. It's still Saturday. All right, Pam, thank you. And temperatures will be warming back up. Here's Greg with a complete look at the forecast.
Yeah, typically with 80s, our last 80 is like towards the end of September, about September 25th. So we're not quite out of the realm, but we are getting to where they'll become a little bit more rare right now. But otherwise, right now, we're not going to be tracking that right now. It's going to be the system up to the north that's going to provide the showers and maybe a thunderstorm later today. Right now, it's in the Dakotas. It'll get to Minnesota here soon, and then eventually into Wisconsin as it goes south later tonight. If we track out the showers, thunderstorms, it'll approach western, southwestern Wisconsin, and you'll notice the trend here. Further south you go, the better shot for more widespread rainfall. These clusters of showers and a few storms will begin to approach Dane County more towards after 6 to 8, with the bulk of it staying south, so the higher rain amounts will probably be south of Platteville to Monroe to Janesville. And if you get north of Dells, you probably won't see much in the way of really just cloud cover and a few showers. Once we get past 10 a.m., then things should start breaking down, and just a few afternoon showers or maybe a thunderstorm, but most areas will remain cloudy with temperatures in the upper 60s, 70s. So we got that tonight going through Tuesday. We have more chances coming this weekend to early next week, but there's a lot of things going on with that. Not a lot of confidence in what the timing will be with that. Best chance still looks Sunday, but right now I don't think it's going to be a complete washout yet. Mild tomorrow, 70s. The 80s come back Wednesday through Friday. Could even be Saturday, depending on things play out. But we're just cooling down a little bit towards the weekend and next week. Still pretty seasonal, around 70 degrees. Really, you see here that system comes dive. There's your showers for tonight, breaking apart till tomorrow afternoon. Then we'll have just more activity, just these weak waves coming through, more showers maybe Wednesday north of the area. But then once we get to Wednesday, you see this ridge and the winds out to the west begin to push all the way up to Canada. We're going to have the warmth come up. That means the ridge builds up, and that will provide the 80s with all the activity, stormy weather, still out to the west. Big picture shows that. Here's the warmth being built up. That's when the 80s will come through Wednesday. We'll see this build up, and eventually this storm complex will actually begin to lift east and approach the area Friday. The problem is it's going to struggle to get eastward. This blocking highs, we're calling it, out to the east is really going to slow it down. So it'll be mainly to Saturday and then Sunday, but you notice the colors begin to kind of become a little not quite dark as they were before. It is going to start weakening, but I think Saturday night into Sunday is when the best chance for some showers or thunderstorms. Once again, it's going to take its time to get here, so I think a lot of the weekend, at least Saturday, looks still fairly good, but we will have cooler temperatures and that chance once it gets through here. So more details that come as we get closer to that time frame. Otherwise, here's what we're looking for rainfall tonight. Once again, the better shot to get heavier amounts is further south, much less as you go further north. Once again, you could have around 1/4 of an inch for most locations, maybe a 1/2 inch as you go further south, and maybe some of the luckier ones will get a little bit more with that. If you look at the bigger picture for precipitation-wise for the next 7 days, this kind of shows you how this front is kind of just stuck right here for a good portion of the 7 days, and it just can't move much east. So we're going to get some of it, but the bulk of it looks to be staying out towards Tulsa, up to Bismarck and those areas, which they still need it with the drought conditions going on, but we just can't get a lot. But we still could pick up maybe a 1/2 to 1 inch in some areas of the western areas. So that's what we're looking at so far. For tonight, we're looking at mid-50s. Rain will come in after midnight, closer to tomorrow morning's commute. Tomorrow, we're looking still fairly good. Some sun in the afternoon for western areas, so you might get up to the mid-70s. Otherwise, most areas will be right around 70, pretty seasonal, and a shower or two in the afternoon. Most of it will be in the morning. Overall, for the 10-day, there's your 80 degrees. We'll top 80 probably Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Could even be Saturday, depending on things how play out. And the weekend with the showers and thunderstorms, once again, not all-day rain. So it looks like maybe Sunday into Monday's the best chance. We'll break that down a little bit further as we get closer to the event. But altogether, it's still, temperature's fairly good for September.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Nope.
Thank you, Greg. Next, Howard's in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with a German recipe that he says is oh so good.
When it comes to Oktoberfest, we usually think of big steins of German beer.
Music?
That'll have you singing and swaying. And of course, lots of good food. As for the music and the beer, I'm sure you've got that covered. But when it comes to the food, we've got a hearty all-in-one beefed up dinner that'll knock your lederhosen socks off. We start by browning a good amount of beef short ribs in a little vegetable oil. We do this in batches so we don't overcrowd the pan. While those finish up, we add a can of crushed tomatoes to a slow cooker, along with some tomato paste, lemon juice, brown sugar, caraway seeds, and a bit of salt. After mixing this, we put the short ribs on top and add some chopped cabbage. Now all we do is cover it, set it to low, and let it cook all day till the meat is fall off the bone tender. Oh my gosh, I bet you've never tasted ribs as meaty and moist as these. And when you ladle the sweet and tangy sauce over them, along with all that cooked cabbage, get ready to start singing and swaying. To get the recipe for our slow-cooked short ribs and cabbage, simply visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with Kelly, whose beer is almost as big as she is, where today we found a fill-you-up way for you to say,
Schmeckt.
In other words, ooh, it's so good. Sit back.
I think we've lost control of the broadcast. Ahead at noon, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. You can email them to us now at tips@channel3000.com. We'll get to your questions right after this.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel Community. Call Demery today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
DePaco Credit Union strengthens your well-being. Build strong communities. Because when our members love life, it makes a brighter community for all. DePaco can help you be well.
Could not have done it by myself.
In 2023, iCare Medicare plan members receive $150 a month total for food, OTC products, and more when using the spending account card, plus dental and vision coverage. Rest easy. iCare is looking out for you and your health.
Anybody that knows me here knows that I'm always focused on the customer first. I want to make sure that we don't have to worry about this door next year, the year after that. I'm not an actor at all. Here at Precision, we're here for you.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
At Informed Choice Insurance Agency, we're proud of our 5-star reviews.
My agent Matthew explained everything about Medicare and the needed supplemental insurance. He took the time to show me several different plans and the plus and minuses of each policy.
Andrea was amazing, from her knowledge to her presentation to her skills in navigating complicated and intimidating waters. I cannot emphasize enough how much she helped me and my family.
Need help with your Medicare or Marketplace health plans? Get 5-star service at Informed Choice Insurance Agency.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we always want to give you more variety. That's why we developed Buffet Your Way. Order your favorite pizza for the buffet and we'll bake it and make sure you get the first slice. Like thin crust prairie, pepperoni and green olives on stuffed crust, stampede, buffalo chicken with jalapenos. You name it, we make it. Oh, Carl, I wasn't actually ordering. No, Carl, don't be like that. Come back, we'll eat them.
Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
Keep them coming, Carl.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel Community. Call Demery today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
Lisa Briggs with the Bruce Company is answering your plant and garden questions, and you can submit a question at tips@channel3000.com. Lisa, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
What you got here?
This is a celosia, and it's related to amaranth. It's an annual, kind of a tender annual, but it does do well in cool temps, not cold, but it looks amazing.
Yellows, different shapes, like this is a plume here. And then here, there's a little bit of what they call a coxcomb.
So you could
where it's flat.
You could get that now and have a couple months worth.
Absolutely. Maybe not a couple months, but a good 6 weeks for sure.
All right.
Yeah, they're just fun.
All right, let's go to the questions. And Neil says that he has fern bushes that are spreading throughout the planting beds. They seem to be connected through their root structure. How do we contain the spread?
So those are probably ostrich ferns. They start off with like a little kind of hairy brown nub, and then it's sort of a very contained fern. But they do spread like nobody's business. So I just dig them up, and I've got some in my yard, dig them up and move them to other places where I don't care. You can also, that seems to work pretty well if you just sort of, when they're really young, just pull them out.
So the rhizomes are all
They're rhizomes, so they're connected, so it's kind of hard to use some herbicide on them, unless you want to kill all of them.
No, you don't want to do that.
Right, and they're usually mixed in with other things, and so you don't want to risk having those other plants damaged.
All right.
So
Nancy wants to know if she can plant a tree now or wait until spring.
Fall is a great time to plant, Nancy. The temperatures are cooling, and so plants are spending more time in the cooling temps establishing roots. Now, this does not mean that you want to transplant some things now. It's not a good time to do that. But if you're buying something at the garden center, you can just go ahead and plant that. You want to make sure that you keep it well watered, and you want to make sure that you water it in the spring as well. If we have a dry winter. But other than that, it's a great time to plant.
All right. Jim from Reedsburg says he's been avoiding mowing because of the drought. The grass in the back has more shade. It's grown taller than the one in the front. Should continue to hold off mowing.
No, I would just go ahead and mow and clean that up. You don't want that grass to be long when it goes into winter. It'll kind of fall over with leaf pressure and snow and just get kind of mingy and disease. So I'd go ahead and mow. But mow high, maybe till about 3 inches.
Yeah, not real short.
Right.
All right, Steve wants to know that he has morning glories that have tremendous growth but no blooms yet. Any tips to encourage blooms before the frost?
Well, I don't know about that. Morning glories do well in a cooler temp. They might still flower, but what I would do is if you were fertilizing at all in your beds and you want to try them next year, I would make sure that you use a fertilizer where that first of the 3 numbers, that nitrogen number, is lower than the other 2. Sometimes heavy nitrogen fertilizer will cause plants to do a lot of rampant green growth at the expense of anything else.
Okay, Neil has a tropical, it's not Neil. Anyway, this person has a tropical hibiscus going on a 3-week vacation this week. Should I bring it indoors or just in case it gets colder before we return October 10th? That's Ginny.
Okay, so I can't predict what the weather's going to do. I would bring it inside because if the temps get below 40 to 45, it's going to do a lot of damage to it. So bring it inside. If you're not leaving right away, I would definitely treat it for insects with like some insecticidal soap before you bring it inside. Any little pests that you bring in that are not a big deal outside will quickly become a big deal in your house.
All right. Couldn't leave before this one. Bernie, when should I start putting my Christmas cactus in the dark to get blossoms for Christmas?
You don't need to put Christmas cactus in the dark. You just need to put them in a room that doesn't have artificial light at night. So if you've got a bedroom that you don't use or a bathroom that has a window, that's a perfect place. You can also leave it outside, though. Christmas cactus can handle some cold temps, so you can leave it outside till it gets 45 at night, and it'll be fine. And that will help. It just needs, it's a day length thing that it needs to, that's what triggers the flower buds.
Okay, we're out of time. If you wrote in, I'm going to forward the questions to Lisa, and she'll respond
either
directly.
this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all for the questions. Here's Greg now, one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to have showers coming after midnight tonight, and they'll probably make for a wet tomorrow morning commute. Something to keep in mind. Most of it will be probably south of the Dells, but then mild tomorrow, 70s, but then the 80s come back as we get towards Wednesday. Rain chances this weekend are looking a little iffy, but we'll keep in tune with that. I don't think a complete washout, but something to keep in mind of. Otherwise, yes, the 80s, and then we'll get back down to the 70s to the next weekend.
All right, Greg, thank you. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.